Hey there, Taylor Elwood here, and welcome to the Magical Experiments channel. Today we're going to be talking about somatic meditation and its role in spirit communication. And I'm mentioning this because it's kind of a fascinating topic. With one of the things that I've been doing over the last, I would say, decade or so, has been experimenting with somatic techniques for a number of different purposes. One of those purposes has been for uh, spirit communication. And particularly in the last 6 years, I would say it really kind of came home for me. I was doing a lot of work around connecting with spirits and doing what I call walking with spirits. And it was a interesting approach because what it really involved was learning how to connect with the spirits through the act of walking, the literal physical act of walking. So it wasn't like, okay, I'm going here and I'm doing an invocation and an evocation, although I've done those things. No, it was I'm going out into the world around me and I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to see how I interact or connect with the spirits through that walk. And I'm going to pay attention in particular to the sensations that I feel or experience in my body, which is what somatic techniques are involved. Let's be honest here too. The word somatic techniques is, like somatic meditation, somatic body work, all that stuff. It's just basically buzzwords that people are using right now. Like it's just become the fashionable word to use to describe body work. Okay, it's the same thing though. So in any case, I got started with these techniques or these concepts because of the work I'd done with Taoism, and because with Taoism you have the martial art component, right, where you're learning how to fight. You're learning how to move the key in your body from a martial place, but then you have the spiritual component as well, the qigong, the qi, where you're learning how to move the energy of your life force as well as the life force of other beings and things. And of course, some of that can include working with spirits. In my work with spirits, I began to pay close attention to how those spirits would connect with me on a spiritual level and how they would connect with me on a bodily level. And so I became really interested because what I've noticed is that in general, with spirit work, there's this tendency to separate out the spirits from the body. Like, okay, you you're you got well, we're working with spirits, but we're not really trying to connect it with our body. We're trying to get them to interact with the environment around us, or we're trying to connect with them through archetypes or things like that, but we're not really connecting with them in a physical way. And I feel like that's a weakness in the majority of spiritual work techniques that I see out there because there's a de-emphasis on the body, and there's reasons probably for that. I mean, some of it's probably like a fear of possession. Oh, if I let the spirit connect with me, maybe it'll possess me, like you see like with the voodoo ceremonies and stuff like that, where the people are possessed by the Loa. Um, so I get it, but at the same time, there's a very real aspect to this, if you will, that I think is just as relevant, and it's how you connect with the spirits from a place of power and connection, but from a place of embodiment of the physical vessel that you have available to you, which you can in part use as another medium for interacting with spirits. Now, I'm going to do a brief plug here. In October, coming up here of 2023, in case you guys watch this a long, long time from now, in October 2023, my magical mate, Joanna Brooke, and I are going to be teaching a class on advanced spirit work. And you can get a link to that in this video and check it out. And we're going to be talking about, amongst other things, somatic techniques for connecting with spirits. So if you find this conversation or this topic interesting, then you'll want to check that out. And also, if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe and click the bell notification so you get notified when I go live. And like this video and leave some comments. So getting back to the topic at hand, with the somatic technique, or with this understanding about spirit work, that there is this fundamental weakness, I began to think about it like, how would I take something like a Taoist qigong exercise, like cloud hands, where I'm kind of going like this and this. You can't see fully, but you can see that I'm moving my arms anyway. Okay, how would I take that and apply that as a process for connecting with spirits? And I began to think about it from that perspective. And I'm like, well, if I have the spirit interacting with me, um, from a place of connection, then it's something very specific and powerful, right? The spirit is connecting with me via my body. The spirit could be connecting with me via the way I manipulate the energy that I'm working with, and how that energy in turn is interfacing with the spirit. The spirit could be connecting with me um, through whatever influences are being drawn upon while doing that specific action. And it occurred to me that really, in general, if we explore this concept of somatic technology, meditation, and all that, that in general there is a lot that can be done with body work that is really fascinating in terms of how it allows us to discover the way that our body feels under the various experiences and influences. Like, as an example, if I eat if I eat some food is going to make me feel one way, some food's going to make me another. It's a somatic experience that I'm having. There may be emotions and mental associations. There may be all kinds of other things that are occurring in tandem with that. And all of these things can play a role in our work. And what we want to do is we want to be aware of that and apply that to spirit work. So with this concept of that, we can say, okay, if I interact with this one spirit somatically, this is how my body is going to feel. This is what the experience is going to be like. And that's really kind of what's at work when we explore this idea conceptually of somatic meditation as it relates to the body. Now, as I mentioned, Joanna and I are going to be doing basically a 4-day or 4-week class. I say 4-day, 4-week class on advanced spirit communication, and we're going to be going into these topics in a lot more depth. So, if you're interested in this work, then you're going to want to check out the link in the comments, or in the show notes here, and sign up for that class, because it's going to be amazing. We're going to start August 10th and we're going to end August 31st. So you're asking, what about integrating mild use of substances in magical works? Many frown on it and yet are curious for your thoughts, specifically DMT and research chemicals. I think it's really important to use entheogens very carefully. If you're going to use them very carefully, because it's not something that you want to just do. I mean, it's uncontrolled in a way. Like, unless you have somebody there sitting with you and you have a specific context, I think doing it just for the sake of doing it can be really problematic. I don't do entheogens in my spirit work or in my magical work. I have in the past, but I don't find it to be a healthy thing. And so I just want to mention that. And And with that, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching and check out the class.